everyone. Today is Monday, September 19th. We have a lot of energy in here today. It's super great. I want to welcome you to a meeting of the Concord School Board of Trustees. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation's business and is not considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation about agenda items as indicated on the agenda. If you would like to address the board, just get a yellow card that's over here at the table. Fill that out and get that to Mrs. Warren before you speak. Again, welcome everybody. We've had nice crowds lately and we're super thankful for everybody who takes the time to come to our board meetings. You're always welcome. And with that, we will start the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on our agenda this evening is good things, and this evening that is brought to us from the high school. Dr. Molnar. Students. Get everybody in here.
President Wade, Mr. Bunsen, members of the Board of Trustees, thank you. It is a privilege to be here to talk about good things today. I have some wonderful student ambassadors with me today. We'll meet them in a second. But since it was the start of the school year when we're thinking about good things, we thought what better way to showcase some of the great things at Concord High School is to really look at some of those experiential learning experiences that our students are getting, that are going out into the workforce, that are doing big and bold things. So what we've got here is some students that are going to represent our work-based learning program, our building trades, and our biomed program. So the first program we are going to highlight is our work-based learning program. And I have Coach Vaughn here, Mr. Vaughn. He is one of our teachers along with Mr. Jakoyak for that program. We have 87 students that are currently in our work-based learning program, 75 first semester and 83 second semester. As you can see, countless business partners have partnered with us to take our students on an internship basis to actually spend half of the day on the job. We have some students that are actually doing double duty here, and you'll hear from them as well. But 20 new business partners. Healthcare is our largest curriculum, about 27 students. And 3 students, one of them being highlighted today, is actually in the Sheriff's Department. She's going to talk about it today. Coach Vaughn, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just excited Elkhart County continues to support us and support our program, and hopefully we can continue that support as our program keeps growing. I think the big one for us this year is the Elkhart County Sheriff's Office being new for us, and that's a request that we get regularly that we've not had an opportunity for in the past. So that's big for us. And then healthcare is back again. We've had a big drop off last year, and this year we're back to 27 students. So that's where usually about a third of our students are in healthcare related fields.
Coach Vaughn, can I jump in? How many students can you guys handle?
125.
Okay.
We interviewed, we interviewed about 120 students last year. The scheduling and everything else that comes into play with schedule conflicts, we were able to get 87 scheduled.
Thank you.
So we have several students here that are in our work-based learning program. I just asked them to kind of talk about some of the things they're doing in the field, some of the things that are going, some of those skills that will transition into the workforce. Just talk about some of the cool things that they're doing. We're going to start off with, let's go Brianna at the Sheriff's Office.
I'm Brianna. I am at the Sheriff's Office. There are 4 divisions I will go to. I will do corrections, the detective bureau, patrol, and dispatch. I've only been to dispatch so far, and a couple of cool things that I have done is I learned the proper technique to do bigger things. I interviewed a felon at Porter County Jail about a burglary case, and I served a search warrant. This work-based learning will give me the opportunity to have first-hand experience to see if this is a career I want to go into.
Well, I know she is at Coach House. Okay, my apologies.
Hello. I'm planning to go into nursing for my future, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for me to go there because I got to experience this thing with a family that only spoke Spanish, and I got to translate for them. And just seeing their smile on their face, knowing that someone was understanding that because of the language barrier at the hospital setting and everything, they only have one translator before It just made me go home and feel a lot better about everything, and I'm excited to go into the nursing field, and I think it's an amazing opportunity. You get to change weekly, different floors you get to go to, and I think you get to pick 2 of the floors you want to go to.
We have a couple other gentlemen that are actually doing double duty there in building trades and work-based learning. Pretty awesome schedules. I'm gonna let Lance talk about his internship and work-based learning.
So, I'm in a weights program with Coach Person. Thinking about going to college to help kids get better at working out and their physical ability. And it's a nice thing being in there with them, showing me the way and what you can do to help kids get better at what they do.
Thank you, sir. Zach Wade.
Hi, I'm interning with my dad at his excavation business, and I've been actually running polo the past 2 days, which that never really happened, so learning new tricks and skills on that, so.
Awesome. You're going to hear from these guys here in a second again. Next is our building trades program. This is the 4th year for construction program. 2 construction, 2 classes, a total of 58 students. 7 principals of construction classes, a total of 196 students are in our construction program, folks, and it continues to grow, continues to be a popular program. We are incredibly excited about this. There you can see that we were featured on the news for a groundbreaking. We all know that we are partnering with Habitat for Humanity. Thanks, Dr. Kendall and Mr. Tompkins for doing that work ahead of time. I get my picture taken, but I didn't do anything. But it's a really great opportunity to get back to that community. You know, we talk about it all the time at Concord High School that we are wanting to be not only a good school community, but a great member of the community at large. We actually have students that we're sending to the job site on September 9th, things that they did at the Habitat House. They built a knee wall and crawl space, set 4 trusses, glued and screwed subfloors, and chalk lines for all the walls and houses. We also have Zach and Lance that are also building construction trades. I'm going to let Lance go again and just going to talk about construction trades, some of the things that he's doing.
Right now in the Habitat, it's a nice thing. We help build around the house and set down what he said, the floor trusses and stuff. It's a good experience helping people, and we building houses for them and stuff, and they teach us new ways how to do things easier, so it won't be as hard, simple. So.
Thank you. Definitely a skill that will be applicable later on in life, for sure. Zach.
I actually haven't been to the Habitat House yet, but it's always good learning new tricks in the class, and in that class you get to learn a lot of stuff that I use a lot in my life, and talking to new people and learning what they have to say about it, and I'm looking forward to trying myself on.
Awesome.
Someday you guys are gonna build your parents' houses, right?
He already is. I have a picture of him on bulldozer doing our funding.
So the final one is our biomedical program. This is new this year. This is really exciting. 121 students the first year. The project leads the way, principles of biomedical science. Throughout the year, students will investigate a crime scene to solve a mysterious death. You can see the fake crime scene there. That was the talk of the school for a little bit. Diagnose and propose treatment to patients in a family medical practice, track down and contain a medical outbreak at a local hospital. So these are real life project-based learning type of scenarios that the students are working through to really get that first-hand kind of experience in biomedical. Students learn from these labs, skills learned from these labs transferred to various careers in the medical field, including physician assistant, a whole bunch of other types of medical careers. I am going to have Carlene Holtman come up, and she's going to talk about some of the things that she's doing in the biomed.
So you can see the picture, the hands-on crime scene thing. I thought it was really odd at first. I was kind of freaked out. But when we were investigating, it was different, and we had this scientific journal. So instead of a bunch of assignments, it was more of writing down, and if we understand, if we don't understand, rather than having to stress about turning in multiple assignments each week. And we got to do multiple tests over blood, over heart rate, respiratory rate, everything together. And it's something that we can enjoy every class because it's not busy work. It's more of enjoying your time there with your friends and learning new pathways you want to take because it's different each day.
Did we find out what the person died from?
Not yet. Right now we're doing the blood splatter with the measurements of the height of the blood.
Love it.
Let's go, field trip.
Ms. Carter, go ahead.
My name is Ivan Carter, and I'm in the biomedical class. So something I like about the class, well, there's a lot of things I like about the class because I'm trying to be like a family doctor. So of course I gotta know all this, dealing with blood and stuff like that. So I found the blood, like the crime scene, like hands-on, like I like hands-on learning. That's how like I, maintain, the classes and stuff because I know how to best do it. But one of the first things I did was a fingerprint, and I got it right here. Like we did a regular fingerprint, then we did one with some type of powder. And I like how we did that because it was like I got to learn new stuff, and I got to learn how to do stuff that I didn't know how to do that I was using.
So, like I said, folks, this is really exciting stuff that we're doing, not only for Pathways, but for college and career success for all of our students. Do you have any questions for them? Folks, thank you for bringing us in for good things. We really appreciate it.
I think if you need anybody to be that person next year, Mr. Yoder would love.
To be the dead guy?
Yeah.
I still want that.
You saw your eyes light up and then it came
He'd have to sit still.
Thank you guys, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You're all welcome to stay. Well, I kind of gave him a guilt trip. Wait, you might have to take it back. Thank you, son of the year, right there. He's gonna want flavor freezer. Are there any yellow cards? That brings us to the consent agenda, which this evening includes minutes from 9/6/22, board workshop minutes from 9/6/22, executive minutes from 9/12/22, accounts payable claims, payroll claims and distribution summary report, donations high school, human resource report, and conference requests.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Yoder, a second from Mr. Sponseller. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. That brings us to 4.1, a grant. Mrs. Tahara. We have a couple of them.
Welcome board, it's such a privilege to be here this evening. I'm excited to piggyback on some things that we just heard. This grant that I'm sharing with you is the Employability Skills Innovation Implementation Grant. And we have been so lucky at the end of the year, last year, to have our engagement grant, and that this just kind of rolled right into it as well. The purpose of this grant is to encourage and support schools as they're embedding into the curriculum the employability skills highlighted such as communication, collaboration, and work ethic specifically. Oh, we know there are many more employability skills. That was sort of the focus of this grant. They also were asking that we look at how do we measure that? How do we collect information so that we have evidence that students are meeting those marks and having some collaboration with some of our local employers and helping setting some of those targets. And so as we look on our slide today, so yes, it's understanding some of those varieties. Currently, as we look at this grant, we know we have to start somewhere. And so our starting point, we're kind of really focusing in around our freshmen. Our freshmen are already gathered in our Preparing for College and Career classes. And then this first semester, second semester with their career and information exploration. So they're all clustered within these courses. And so we're going to lean in and focus on the students this year. So as we look at that, they also have navigated software where they're looking at, tell us more about careers, what does that look like in the workforce. They're gaining some of that momentum in the background. And now we lean in. You heard in the presentations a moment ago about the project-based learning and the energy that's behind it. Well, we don't want that to be the first time students are participating in those kind of events. It's rich learning. And so we are looking at how can we embed that even in our freshman level classes. So getting that experience, so that's gonna be something that we will lean in and get some training in. And just so you know, project-based learning does meet one of the requirements for graduation. So another bonus as we move forward. So with project-based learning being something that we're embedding into that curriculum at the 9th grade level, as I said, we're gonna need some way to actually measure and collect. And so one of the new things that we're going to be doing is micro-credentialing. And I don't know if any of you in your careers have had small little mini courses that you might take online. You can actually take that course, go through maybe some self-paced options, have to have evidence going through that, and at the very end, then you get what they call a badge. That is micro-credentialing. And so that's what we're going to be able to put together to have evidence that students are reflecting and mastering at this level communication, collaboration, and work ethic. So as we look at how are we going to achieve some of those things, well, our project-based learning, we're actually partnering with for Next Generation Learning. And that company really focuses in on how do they connect our local businesses with classrooms to be able to enhance that learning. So they have those authentic experiences of utilizing those employability skills. And so we are going to be doing that this year with our 9th grade teachers that are working with those classes. And then as a next year, having some of those teachers that are extremely interested in being a train-the-trainer model so that we can build our own sustainability. And so that we can not only do it within high school, but we can branch out. Because this is a high leverage teaching strategy. We want to make sure that works. And again, we'll be working with our micro-credential development. The nice thing about it is, like I said, it's a high leverage instructional model. We're looking for sustainability. And moreover, these micro-credentials are portable. Kids take it with them. And it's verifiable as far as when they go into an employer knowing what is it that this really means, this badge. So we're really excited to utilize this grant to continue to embed high quality learning for students that they can go ahead and then leverage in other classrooms even to another level. Any questions that you have about this grant?
Is this just a one time, 1 year, or can we apply for this again next year to help keep the training?
So this is a 2-year grant. And so that's why we're talking year 1, we're gonna actually do all of our 9th grade instructors. But then year 2, we've got it built in so that there will be that training of the trainers for sustainability. This came through with ESSER funds. And so the likelihood that it will come around, again, we're not sure. But that's why we wanted to build in some sustainability for this technique and instructional model so that it wasn't a one and done.
Any other questions? The next one, please.
Okay. No? Okay, there it is. So the next grant that happened to come on the scene was a grant called UCAN. And UCAN is Urban College Acceleration Network. And the nice thing about UCAN is that while it is about the same length of duration as our previous grant, I mean, everything continues to spiral in and of itself. How do we continue to either get students into a career, into college, or both? And this kind of piggybacks on our early college model, our Minutemen U. And we were fortunate enough across the state, only 16 schools were selected for this grant. And 4 of those are what they call mentor schools because they've already achieved an endorsement level for their early college. I'll go into what that means here in a moment. And then there are 12 partner schools. So basically, you've got your 12 schools and they're matched with a mentor school to help take them to that next level. And so we were really fortunate to be able to be a part of this program. This is going to provide us some support, guidance, and funding strategically access to our post-secondary opportunities and become endorsed. So what does it mean to become endorsed? Well, you should have all received a couple papers, okay? And one of them talks about dual credit versus early college. And so when you look at dual credits, students are just taking some, I hate to say random credits for college credit, and it may not lead anywhere specific. An early college model, there is a focus that we are collecting and packaging a student's program of study so that there is an end goal in mind, and for us, the end goal is the Indiana College Core, which is your second handout, and that will provide a package of 30 credits, and that package of 30 credits equates to their freshman year of college, and it does, if they enroll into an Indiana Public University or college, they are recognized as meeting the freshman requirements. So it is a fabulous opportunity, great money savings opportunity as well. And so our early college model, what's special about it? Well, there are people that will come together and say, I can get all those 30 credits or something like that. The early college is open to anyone, but we primarily target students that are first college generation goers. Maybe their parents have not had any experience at all with higher education. And so their loss of what steps do I take? They may not have seen themselves as college going students. They could be from underrepresented subgroups as well. But the early college model actually has supports in place to help them take that next step. So I know I was a first generation college goer myself, and I was fortunate to have people in my life that kind of helped me navigate how do you file for FAFSA. I mean, I still think that's pretty confusing anyway, as it is. What does it mean to apply? How early do you have to apply to college? Kind of all the ins and outs of scholarships. But just not having parents that had ever gone to college, they couldn't help me. I relied on other people. And the early college model that we have supports to be able to provide some of that information to students in a little more deliberate way than just offering it casually to everything in high school. The Center for Excellence in Leadership and Learning, CEL, at University of Indianapolis, is the one that's providing this guidance, and they are the only group in the state of Indiana that is authorized to endorse early college programs. So we feel really fortunate. You'll see the core principles. There's 8 core principles. So all of those areas require that you have plans in place to leverage all of those targeted areas. There is strategic expectations on our rubric. And our outcomes, as we look at the end, we're going to apply for endorsement and earn that distinction. We want to increase the number of students in our early college or mid-menu earning the actual Indiana College Core, so that they do have that credential. And of course, there's also other benefits for students and families and cost savings. Early college graduation, maybe they'll have early entry into the workforce because they've already cut a year off of college. Maybe there's other opportunities, studying abroad. They might decide to have another minor, double major, who knows, but they will have another opportunity just because they've gotten those college grades. Any questions that you have about the focuses of the campaign?
I suppose it's not retroactive back to 2018 where Jacob can apply or Gabby or Dave.
Unfortunately not, but, yeah. And so the funding in this actually continues to support if we have any teacher credentialing needs, professional development, and it's field trips and such to help with that whole process.
Thank you so much. Oh, yeah, you stay here. Okay, 5.1, an MOU for Indiana Online.
So as I asked for you to approve an MOU from Indiana Online, but I give you a little understanding of what it is and how we have utilized it in the past. Concord has had students utilize Indiana Online primarily for traditional high school course offerings. For example, if they needed the third year of American Sign Language because of a conflict in schedule, sometimes it may be even one semester. Indiana Online has had that opportunity for students. You know, some students have chosen on their own to go out and take these courses, and yet also we've had those conflicts. This year, Indiana Online is updating information, coming up with kind of that new refreshed partnership contract, and so that's why I'm bringing this to you today. We have students currently that are looking at this because of the AP opportunities for courses. This is one of the more comprehensive set of choices for AP that we can provide. And we would love to be able to continue to endorse Indiana Online for those types of services. Right now, we were looking at it being a supplemental provider. So it's just a course here and there that we would utilize for it versus major. So again, I ask that you consider this and review approval.
Motion to approve as presented in our packet.
I have a motion, Mr. Yoder, second, Mrs. Davis. Are there any comments or questions? There you go.
So going back to, the first presentation, so what percentage of our kids are, well, we've got kids in everything, all over the places, as recognized tonight, building trades and all kinds of things. But for kids who are choosing more rigorous academic offerings, the kids are kind of leaning toward Minuteman U versus taking AP classes, whether they're here or doing at Concord or online or whatever.
Right.
Is it 50-50 or more kids saying, yeah, Minuteman, there's more opportunity in Minuteman U?
Well, I know one of the students that was up here that spoke about biomedical is in Minuteman U as well. It's hard to know exactly as the offerings continue to change or the number of requests. Our number of students that applied to the early college last school year was up significantly. So in the past, we have had, when we first started, we had about 30 kids, very first year that we offered. And then it has grown to the kind of the next group, it was about 45, and then about 55. Last year, we had 70 students that were asking to be a part of this program. And so, it has continued to grow, even in light of COVID. There was interest. And so we had 14 students that graduated this past May that did earn Indiana College Core. And they experienced all these rough classes just, like AP and everything else. And so they're not backing down. AP is still got a strong interest. I know we have 10 students that are interested in some of those online classes right now.
I'm glad we have something for everybody.
Yeah, so I really do think, I would just say, I think you do a fabulous job of looking at how you're serving those.
Any other comments or questions from Mrs. Tahara? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good, thank you so much. That brings us to 5.2, consideration of textbook rental fees. Mr. Myers.
Yes, thank you. I was before you about a month ago, talking about
kindergarten through sixth grade textbook rental fees, and now today you have a list of junior high course and textbook fees. There were some changes, but not very many changes for the junior high. Many of the texts or resources that kids use will remain the same. We look every year at ways for us to reduce that cost, but we always want to make sure that we're also providing quality curriculum and materials for our kids. So I ask for your approval of this, of these fees for this year for the junior high.
I'll make a motion to approve the textbook rental fees for grades 7 through 8 as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mr. Sponseller, a second by Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Mr. Myers? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, same thing, 9 through 12, sir.
Yes, high school. So you will notice that in the high school textbook fees, we have a few more changes. Those are from a variety of reasons. We went through social studies adoption, so you have social studies texts that are included in there. We also have some consumable costs, like for art and things that they just cost more, right? And so that's why we see those differences in there. So I would again ask for your approval of the high school textbook fees.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Davis, a second by Mr. Sponseller. Any comments or questions for Mr. Myers? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Very good, thank you, Mr. Myers.
Thank you.
Mr. Evans, you have financial reports for us.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams. For some reason, I'm not seeing that on everybody.
I can grab it.
More.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Don't have a lot to report as far as the financial report this evening, other than if you look at the comparison reports, first of all, for the period ending August 31, 2022, you can see comparisons from a year ago to this year. Most of the funds would be about where we expect to be in terms of cash balances for 2022, for the month of August of 2022. Looking at the appropriations report, again, for the period ending August 31, 2022, appropriations and the percent not expended of those appropriations would be about what we would expect. So questions? I'll be happy to try.
Motion to approve the numbers as presented.
Second. Are you sure? I have a motion by Mr. Yoder, a second by Mrs. Towner. Any comments or questions for Mr. Evans? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. Thank you, Mr. Evans. Is there any sharing from the board this evening? Superintendent's report.
Yeah, just a couple things there. One, we do have a candidate workshop here, October 10th, at 5 o'clock. So for people running for the board, we have 8 candidates that'll be here in this room on October 10th. And then really just marching band event on Saturday. Just want to thank everybody that helped. I mean, quite a few people in this room here were helping that day. People, it takes a lot of people to make sure that runs well. A lot of people spent much of their day there. Special shout out to our band dads. I think there were about 20 of them, and they were all very sweaty by the end of the day on Saturday. So yeah, just a great event, and I wanted to thank everybody that was part of that. That's it.
Very good. That brings us
Girls
to.
golf.
Oh, girls golfing. Well, you should mention.
Well, I was going to, but I was like making sure.
Yeah, girls golf
Sorry.
finished third in the sectional Friday. I definitely want to congratulate them. I think that was their best showing that they've had this this year so far, so.
Yeah.
They did really well. Get to compete on Friday. I think the girls are excited to get out of school another day, in the regionals.
Well, they tee off at 8, so they're leaving at 4 or whatever early, so. Maybe they're not as,
Not as excited.
my captain won't know any difference. Yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:36. Thank you, everyone.